I refuse to let my husband move in with us unless he got a job.
I'm doing my part.
Trigger warning for mentions of substance abuse. To try and sum this up as simply as possible, my husband, 34 male, got fired from a great job in January. Since then, he has tried maybe 2 or 3 odd jobs, none of them very well paying or lasting more than a couple weeks. He has contributed less than maybe $2,000 to our family this year.
Whole year?
Whew. By the way, this comes from Chiamata, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, me, 27 female, and him have 2 2-year-olds together. I've made about all the sacrifices I could to keep us afloat. I went into credit card debt, worked 2 jobs at times, and made about $53,000 a year while picking up extra odd shifts for overtime. But yeah, I gave up having an apartment this past summer because of debt accumulating. Recently, my parents offered to watch the kids more full time so I wouldn't have to pay for daycare. This would allow me to afford to support the 3 of us somewhat decently and get an apartment. I told him that if he can't get a job, like anything, I'll even take $10 an hour, just something to help me, then he can't come with us. I can't support him too. He has no disabilities that would prevent him from working. I honestly think that's super fair.
I think that's fair.
You're trying to support a family on $53,000. That's so hard. I think that's fair. I know it's a tough market. I know that. But we are coming up on a year, and I just can't stomach him being at our apartment doing nothing while our kids are taken care of so we can work in any way possible. So if he can't do this, is it fair for me to say he can't come with us? And there is an edit about why I was paying for daycare. To clarify, I had my kids in a 2-day educational program. It was hard to afford, but I was doing this for their benefit. They are smart and deserved hands-on and the social aspect. My mom has offered to take this over for us until I am more financially secure. So not daycare, more like a school curriculum. I switched from a work-from-home position earlier this year for more pay. Up until that point, I was the kids' primary care and working and finishing a degree. It has been a crazy year of transition. I'm just tired and confused. I just want stability for myself and my children. I've grappled a lot for what is best for my kids. I'm new to the whole school daycare thing, trying to do the best by the kids. He's a good dad. He loves them. He's failing me as an equal partner, though. And there are some comments, but really quick. I understand why those commenters were saying, why are you paying for daycare? Why are we asking mom for help if he's unemployed? Why is he not being a stay-at-home dad?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
I get it for the fact of like getting your kids socialized and stuff.
Sure.
So like her answer made good sense, but I also was kind of like, that's expensive.
Mm-hmm. It's
unless
expensive.
where they are, it's not expensive.
Yeah,
but
but
I
like,
do think we're in the U.S.
At this point, I'm like, why is mom having to take care of kids when he is,
right?
You know,
He's
doesn't have a job.
all day.
He's not working. Lizzie Oates says, stop begging for the bare minimum. All it will do is teach him to do the bare minimum, and even that will only be in short bursts. He's gonna do just barely enough until you let out a sigh of relief. Once you're off his butt, he'll stop even that little bit of effort again. Live separately until he can prove to be a functioning adult again. Right now, you're treating him like a teenager. That kinky lady says, yup. If he doesn't have any medical issues, he needs to be full-time at least. The fact that OP had to juggle multiple jobs, going to school and being work from home, but handling childcare at the same time is insane. 10 hours? I'd be demanding a divorce by this point. He isn't a good dad if he isn't able to financially provide for his children at all. It'd be different if they agreed to him being a stay-at-home dad, but sure doesn't sound like it. I'd say separation. He gets something that has him working full-time hours and couples counseling minimum to prevent a divorce. This is crazy. There is an update 5 days later. Any other thoughts before we jump into that?
That commenter was like, he needs a full-time job at least. He needs anything at this point. Come on.
Job. He doesn't have any job.
Like even a part-time gig plus taking on watching the kids or something.
Yeah, like you're not even watching your own kids. What are you doing?
Just a sign of you just trying to do something.
Nah, he's not a good dad if he's not doing anything. It seems like she's just saying he gets along with the kids.
Right.
he has fun with the kids. That's not
He,
the
like,
Cool, that's
only thing that
not
goes
He
into
plays
parenting.
ball with the kids and then he just goes back to his room.
Yeah. 5 days later, I wasn't honest in my first post, just like I'm not honest and lie to most people in my life right now. I guess it's the unbelievable amount of shame I carry. It is true that my husband was fired in January. The real reason is because he had a workplace injury the previous summer. He completely tore up his knee, had major surgery, and went through rehab. The company was extremely helpful in his recovery. Then his prescriptions ran out, and I later found out he started buying pain pills off the street, which, yeah, isn't oxy whatever. It's basically just fentanyl these days. As a consequence of a ramping up regular use problem he could no longer hide, I had evicted him, then he got fired. He went through periods of inpatient and outpatient programs, AA, therapy, Suboxone, maybe, and medications for depression and anxiety. We tried everything we could think of, and all the while we were living separate lives because he was a danger to the children. Why am I still so attached? How are any of us supposed to foresee this happening? You fall deeply in love, you get the ring and the kids, life is pretty good, always with its challenges, but that's just life. It's effing hard.
What?
I
This
don't
is a completely different post. Why did
I'm
you write the other
confused.
one? It was like a fake story at this point.
I'm really confused by OP saying, like, why am I in love with him? Like, is this your partner who's going through a deeply, just incredibly hard situation?
Right, you love him and you want to help him.
And also, I just want to say, like, this wasn't even his fault. You know, doctors will give out pain meds that are highly addictive, and then you just have to deal with the fact that, you know, sometimes people have more addictive personalities and then get hooked. I'm not even sure what the point of my post was. I didn't really make much sense because, yeah, he's an able person. Why can't he just get a job? Come on, dude, or be a stay-at-home dad. Y'all, I would have loved to give him that privilege, if only, but people with substance issues can't really keep a job, definitely can't be around kids. Okay, I think OP was saying, like, what she thought people would be asking.
Yeah.
Makes a little more sense. A lot of people read my post and took time out of their day. Most of it was just criticizing us. But I mean, that's what everyone does to everybody most of the time in real life too. Still, I've been feeling some type of way about it all being based on a lie. I want a life with him. He does love his kids. This isn't how it was supposed to go. Then, to top it all off, he has, because of his use issues, caught like 5 charges in the last 5 or so months. He's been wrecking cars, first his, then whatever family was stupid enough to allow him to drive theirs. He's legally not allowed to drive. After I posted this, he got arrested for driving without a license. I already wasn't sure how in the world I could salvage our relationship. Love was the only thing keeping me from cutting him off completely. His family and I are going to push for him remaining in jail or prison and hopefully get him placed in a more substance recovery-based program. But y'all know how effed the U.S. prison systems are. Most likely he'll be in general population, get even worse mentally, and God forbid, but may eventually be saying his final goodbyes. My priority at this point has shifted from protecting him to protecting the general public from him. For now, at least he's safe, if you consider jail or prison safe, which I sure as crap don't. Well, not the American ones, no. But at least he won't OD, right? Honestly, there's not even like a guarantee that is, you know, the prison system is so messed up.
I'm just confused about
yeah.
the origins of the story to now.
I repeat to myself that it's out of my hands, just like this whole experience has been. F y'all, I don't even know anymore. My family says they're proud of me for holding it together. I'm sure they're disappointed in a lot of things I've done, not just keeping the door open this long. I've been so dumb throughout my 20s. I know I can do better in my decision making. Most of all, I want stability for my children. I've decided that I'll be serving him divorce papers once he gets officially sentenced, which I honestly think that makes sense. I think we're at a point where now he's in prison for, you know, unfortunately for the path that this,
Yeah.
you know, something that was not his fault, was not his choice. This is now the path that is taking him down. And I think at that point, you do have to focus on yourself and your kids.
Yeah,
and it really is so
100%.
sad.
There's kids in the situation.
Yeah.
You gotta look out for them.
It's just a dang shame. I love the person he was before all this chaos so much. Y'all don't even know. Him holding our 2 little twins in the hospital. The dad who cried when I gave him a card saying, "Baby A loves you and we'll see you soon, Daddy." This was after my 20-month scan. I think, I can't specifically remember now. Then I handed him a second card that says, "Baby B loves you too and can't wait to meet you as well." I cry every time I think about that. I'm crying right now. How do I accept that I can't have that life with him? I just don't know. I'm so heartbroken. In short, yeah, we'll be moving into the apartment without him. We'll be moving on completely in life without him. Maybe one day he can join us again and we'll have more special and meaningful days. Maybe not. It's out of my hands. I appreciate y'all. Y'all can tear me up for all this. That's perfectly fine. I deserve it too. I'm not a saint. I've said horrible things to him throughout this time. I've been so angry and resentful from how this past year and a half has played out, but I'm ready to finally move on. And I hope you don't move on from listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story, but oof. Any final thoughts though?
Yeah, I agree with you, what you said. Like, I think it's just come to the point of, like, yes, take the children, go live where you have to.
Yeah.
It does sound like he's getting sentenced and he might be away for a little bit.
Yeah. Hopefully one day that, like, he'll get through this and be able to have that relationship with his kids, but
I hope so. I think the only thing people might rip you to shreds for is whatever the heck the beginning of the story was.
Read it in the beginning. That was weird.
But besides that,
you're going through a lot.
Yeah.
So I understand. OP finishes. I'm just going to leave this here and probably not return to this account. For those of you out there dealing with anything like I have, I'm effing sorry. It destroys not just the user's life, but anyone who cares about them, as long as you care about them. And it isn't ever easy to say goodbye to someone you love, not in normal circumstances or the extreme. Just know that you're not alone. I've tried Al-Anon, but wasn't able to establish a community. There are resources, genuinely caring people, and support there if you need it. Take care, y'all. And there's just comments being like, we're there for you. But that's the end of that story.
My husband is always having our neighbor over to our home every time I'm away.
I think they're cheating.
A woman, Beth, 30s female, moved into our state a few weeks ago. A single mother with split custody with her ex. My husband, Carl, 32 male, is a chairperson of our HOA. By the way, this comes from Annual Razmataz 94, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, a week or two after moving in, she calls my husband and asks his assistance in mounting her TV on the wall. He goes and helps. A few days later, her dishwasher was leaking. He goes and helps. This wasn't a problem for me, as he always helps everyone in the estate with little problems. As the weeks go on, she constantly needs help with things, always calling him for help. He goes. Now I started getting annoyed as we haven't been in the best state because I've just had a baby and he's 4 months old, and we've had fights where I felt he wasn't helping me enough. I gave natural birth and I'm still bleeding now and then, and my pelvis is still readjusting.
Oh my goodness. This is a classic time when the cheaters start cheating. When you're pregnant or when you are getting through a tough pregnancy.
Nasty, nasty boys.
Nasty boys. Pay attention to your child, not your affair.
Carl goes over to help Beth again. Even our neighbors who are very close commented that it's odd and offers that we do lunch or something to welcome her and to be friends, as she just moved here and doesn't really know anyone. Mind you, he hasn't done this for other people. I correct her and she's very giggly about it.
Ew.
If I was like, I looked at you and I was like, hey, Sarah. And you were like, oh, actually, like, sorry, it's Sophia. And I'm just like,
shut up. I'm also like, why are you even, honestly, if I wasn't 100% sure about someone's name, maybe this is just me. I don't say their name.
I wait for someone else to say their name.
Yeah, I wait. I just, like, hey,
hey. Yeah.
I wait.
She seems okay. A bit too over the top in terms of trying to be dominant in a conversation, but I think she's okay. She comes over again one more time for a barbecue a week or two later, and our close neighbors join. They think she's okay too. Then that week, while I'm at work, she comes over to say hi to my husband.
Ew.
He works from home, she's a teacher, and schools are currently closed. She shows up wearing workout clothes. I got a text from my neighbor that also works for home saying Beth is there.
Shout out to your neighbor, man.
Shout out these neighbors. That one, though, I do feel are just like so in this for the drama, but I love it.
Oh, they've got to be. I'm sorry.
I'm picturing binoculars.
They've got nothing going on.
I'm picturing binoculars out the window being like, who is that? Oh,
no.
She's wearing workout clothes over there.
Interesting. They've got nothing going on.
They're dialing up each other, doing like multiple neighbor calls.
It's gotta be during the vid.
All right, Disturbia over there.
They're like, oh my God, did you see Beth wearing that little aloe set? You know what that means.
I got a text from my neighbor that also works from home saying Beth is there. I leave it as my husband is very social and we have cameras in the house. The next day, same thing. I mentioned that I'm glad she's made a friend. My husband agrees that she's a cool chick. This happens about 4 more times. I then have to travel for work 4 days away. And then she came over almost every single day in workout clothes.
No.
One
She's
night
working
I
out
watched
at your place.
She's getting her cardio in.
One night I watched the cameras and they were sitting by the table eating together and I just lost it. My husband is an avid gamer, so he plays games every night, eating dinner by his PC. I always beg him to sit and eat with me. He does it maybe once or twice a week. I called my
eat with you?
Yeah, that's sad.
That's sad. I want my partner to eat with me as much as possible when I'm married.
I called my husband after Beth had left and told him that these visits while I'm not home are making me very uncomfortable. She's been over 3 times while I was home, but constantly there when it's just him. He apologized and said he will set boundaries. Great! This discussion was on Thursday night. Friday morning, Beth rocks up again. I keep my cool because Carl said he will talk to her. I get home the Friday night and we have the discussion again. We are both calm and all that. Monday morning, our baby got sick. Carl takes him to the doctor and tells me that I need to be at home Tuesday and Wednesday because baby can't go to baby school because he's sick.
Baby can't go baby school.
That's actually really funny. Baby can't go baby
Baby
school.
can't go to the baby school.
I can't go to baby school today.
He's been kicked out of Club Baby for the
I've
week.
been kicked out of Club Baby.
Okay, cool. I can come home early on Monday and look after baby. Monday afternoon, Beth and her ex have a chat about an offer my hubby had made to the ex about him coming over and also being friends. The ex lives in our state too. Messy. Do you think Beth texted my husband about this chat that happened on Monday? Nope. I am home Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday morning, when I go to the office, Beth rocks up to chat about it. I lost it completely because now it's been a week since I told Carl about my discomfort. We had a very serious discussion that night where I said that if I see her here again when I am not here, I know he has no regard for my feelings. He was adamant about staying friends and asked for a compromise. I said that the compromise is that she does not come here when I'm not here. The next morning, he went to go talk to her about it, and apparently she was extremely apologetic, really wanting to be friends with me too. But she almost never came over when I was home. She hasn't been here since then, 2 weeks now. And I have not had a text or whatever from her. He refused to show me the text with her, and I told him that it will always bug me if he doesn't show me. He said, so be it. I honestly think he was having an emotional affair, but I will never know. My close neighbor told me about a conversation she had with him while I was at work a few weeks ago. He told me you were jealous, and I said, well, can you blame her? Then I said that he drops everything for these women, but doesn't do the same for you. And he said, that's what OP said. And then he went silent and changed the subject. Any advice, please? We have some comments.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's like so self-aware, like, yeah, I totally do that.
It's so suspicious. It's so suspicious. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. And also the fact that you're bringing up that your concerns.
Yeah.
And he's like, it doesn't feel like it's, you're getting kind of anywhere with that.
Not at all.
I don't trust it.
Top comments. Commenter 1. That's really painful. You are right to feel hurt. Even if not physical, the secrecy and attention he gave her crossed a boundary. OP says he honestly made me feel like I was acting crazy because he only spoke to her after I went to Lulu. But thank you. Commenter 2, he crossed many boundaries. And this is something that you need to go to couples counseling about. You have every right to be concerned and upset. I would tell him outright that he had an emotional affair. Not only did you see it, but the neighbors saw it.
Yeah.
And his lack of being forthcoming and letting you see the text messages is indicative of that and may show there is more than an emotional affair. I would go see an attorney to get your affairs in order in an effort to protect yourself and your child. Additionally, I would start sleeping separately for now, too. Commenter 3 says, your neighbor is a hero, calling him out for doing things for her and not you. Hopefully, with someone else saying it, it actually registers in his truck head. Even if it's not emotional cheating, he has no regard for your feelings or helping you out, but happy to spend time helping other women. Totally inappropriate.
Agreed.
We have an update.
Yeah, why does he have so much time to help her out and, no time to eat dinner with you?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But we have an update a bit over 5 weeks later. I managed to see the messages between them. Nothing of a spicy related nature at all. Not even flirty. There was a day when he texted her at 7:30, but only texted me at 9:45 after I had sent him a text at 6:50. But that's as bad as it gets. He does not know that I've seen the text, so I've kept it quiet. We had a massive fight a few days after I made the original post, and I told him that I'm considering separation. I think this made him realize how serious this all is. It's pretty much a blur, but I've started going to therapy to deal with past traumas, and I am on antidepressants. Carl joined me in my last session, and I think he realizes what Beth's intentions were, as my male psychologist said that there was a very unusual behavior from her, and that she is a threat and has intentions. Carl and I are doing great now, but the reason I am posting this update is to show what Beth said to me after I decided to send her a message to bury the hatchet and move on. Here are the texts. Me, and me is OP. Dear Beth, I wanted to share what's been on my mind. I was genuinely glad when we first met. It felt like I'd found someone new with similar personality, and I thought there was potential for a real friendship. But as time has passed, I felt hurt and disrespected by some of your choices. As someone who has also experienced betrayal, I would have hoped you'd understand how it came across when you frequently visited my husband while I wasn't home, yet never came when I was there. You had opportunities to build a friendship with me too. I've just had a baby, and during such a vulnerable time, it was especially difficult seeing how often you reached out to Carl for help. Certain things like your son calling him Dada crossed lines that made me deeply uncomfortable. I tried to brush off a lot, but when you avoided coming by during the days I was home, only to return the moment I was back at work, it became impossible to ignore. I've spoken to Carl about his role in this, but as a woman, I also expected you to recognize when enough was enough. In my position, I believe you would have felt the same way. I've acknowledged everything now, and I am moving forward. Whether it was you seeking attention or Carl enjoying it, I was willing to let things go until both of your actions crossed into what I can only call unacceptable. Oh, we might not even get Beth's side. Beth then sent a very long voice note detailing how it wasn't her intention to hurt me, how she just naturally gravitates towards men.
Yeah.
Blah, blah.
Come
and
on,
how
girl.
me being an introvert, she just didn't want to be in my space. Blah, blah,
Come
blah.
on, girl.
Then sent,
I really like you guys and hope we can still be friends, but in saying that, I will respect the boundaries and your wishes.
and then OP said, I appreciate your message.
So is that a yes? We can be friends?
If I'm honest, I still hold a lot of resentment, mainly because what he was freely giving you, attention and effort, I was begging for and not receiving. He tried his best to reach a compromise with me, telling me that you were over one day to ask advice because you met someone at a bar and wanted his opinion if the guy is interested or not.
Huh?
So I received a lot of mixed stories because I remember you saying that you're happy being single and not looking. I am working through my emotions as I have a lot of unresolved trauma. And Carl's constant defending you left a very bad taste in my mouth. I don't know if it would be possible while we are still working on things, as this has caused a very big rift between us. I realized my mistake here when I gave her a good feeling because my husband defended her. And then she sent a bunch of texts.
Carl defended me because he wanted you to realize him and I are good friends. I don't want to be that person, but I do think you need to take a step back and also put yourself in our shoes.
What?
You have a good husband who loves you and your son and wants to build a beautiful life with you guys, but you can allow insecurities or misunderstandings to interfere with that. Work on things that's fine, but don't push someone away that's wanting to be both your friends. Take time to think. I won't push it. What I mean by this is to trust your husband. He's incredibly loyal to you.
That makes it sound like she tried
That
something.
sounds like he's so loyal to you. I tried.
Yeah.
I
I tried,
tried.
girl. You have no idea.
But he's a social, helpful person who gets along with women as his friends. And you need to accept that and trust that there's no ill intentions and he genuinely just is building friendships.
She literally sent this in the space of 6 minutes. I responded, sure, I'll put myself in your shoes. Visiting a man only when his wife isn't home? Constantly asking him for help with menial things around the house? I reached out to bury the hatchet, and then you spit out about I mustn't let my insecurities get in the way of someone's blatant disrespectful actions? LOL.
Yeah.
And again, I don't care who he's friends with. Whether it's a wiener or
Taco.
lady parts, I'm not jealous by nature. As he's had dinner with exes, we've had menage a trois, and we constantly comment on women that we see in public.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Okay.
But when something makes me uncomfortable and I ask that the visits while I'm away stop, then I'm insecure. Thanks.
No, OP, that's not what I'm saying. I was trying to get you to understand that you have a loving and loyal husband and need to allow him to be friends with others. I did explain to you from my side why I did visit when you weren't there, and still did say I will respect your boundaries moving forward, but would really like to maintain our friendship.
He can be friends with whoever the F he wants to. I didn't tell him to cut you off. I only asked that you not visit him when I'm not here. That's it. If he ended the friendship, that was on him. Your blatant disrespect now honestly got rid of any of your chances. I said to you that it is not a good idea now while we work on things, and you decided that your effing opinion mattered? If I made a mistake, I would never put the blame on the other woman, blaming her insecurities and saying she must let her husband be friends with other women. Shame on you.
True. I will give you time.
There's nothing to think about. You showed exactly who you are. Your self-absorbed need for attention led you to overstep. Whatever place you imagine you had in Carl's life doesn't exist. He even sees how disrespectful and unacceptable your behavior was. All of us have lost every ounce of respect for you. Enjoy the life you've made for yourself. I then blocked her.
Good.
My husband was appalled by her behavior.
Finally.
And said that it's completely unacceptable. He did not text her to say that, but he did decide that cutting her off was the only option.
Heck yeah.
He promised he would tell me if she texted him, and he hasn't said anything, so I'm trusting him. How about he just blocks her?
Yeah, how about that?
Maybe he can't if he's the HOA.
Yeah.
Gotcha. She has moved out of the estate and is no longer part of our lives.
Yay.
Can block her
now. Bye.
I wish I could have given her a proper send-off, a glitter explosion or raw fish down her car vents, but I was too preoccupied with work and my baby. We are doing much better, and he sees how much his actions have hurt me. He is making more of an effort to make me feel better and happy and secure in our marriage. Thanks for reading. Woo. We have some comments. Why are you telling your potential homewrecker all your personal information? Stop texting her.
Yeah.
You're just giving her the upper hand. Spilling the beans on every part of your relationship with your husband. Stop it. I don't think this is the end of it. He's telling you what you want to hear. She's telling you things about your husband as if you don't know him. He'll be loving it. This is going one way, and I hope you see it and take control before they manipulate you further. Commenter 2, while it may have been cathartic, OP, you've given her so much information to use against you. And the way she's acting, it seems your husband painted a very different picture of things to give her the impression this was acceptable behavior. I hope things work out between you and your husband, though. And another update!
Woo, let's dive in.
I've read through all the comments and did some thinking. I realized that I stuck my whole dang leg in my mouth, but I was so caught up in the heat of the moments. I guess it was a mix of me being on new medication, anger that my husband would just not tell her to F off, and me trying to set the picture of me not being anything close to jealous. I realized my mistake, and it is what it is. To those saying fake, I don't really care. That's why I posted on a venting sub.
Heck yeah.
Even though things are going better now, and we are in therapy, I still hold resentment. Because he outright refused to block her while she lived in the estate, saying, what if there's an emergency? I can't block a tenant. And he refused to call her out on her behavior because he doesn't want drama. I respect his decision, but it still hurts. I also hope that he's started having dinner with you.
I hope so. Can we just have dinner together?
It's such an
Please.
easy thing
It's
to
so
ask. You're
easy.
gonna eat anyway.
Yeah.
We've been together for nearly 10 years, and I tell him that sometimes I feel he cares about other people's emotions more than mine.
Yeah.
I pretty much am just keeping a low profile now, spending time with my son and trying to focus on the happiness that I do have. And by the way, you guys always have full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. We've got just a little bit left.
Yeah, you guys need to go to like therapy.
Yeah.
You need to work through this because it doesn't seem like you're on the same page in your relationship. And I don't think he fully understands why what he did was wrong.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. So I feel like we need to work on this.
I don't trust that he doesn't just do it again eventually.
I agree, yeah. He only saw that it was wrong when she started overtly being awful.
Right.
But I don't think he understands that him prioritizing Beth and unknown, like just kind of a random woman over his wife who's pregnant.
Just had a baby.
Oh, sorry, just had a baby. Even worse. Just
Right,
had a
like
baby.
that was the awful part, dude.
Yeah, it just had a baby. and you're not home and you're not prioritizing that.
Yeah. Gross.
Let's finish her off though.
Whatever decisions he makes now going forward, I will address it when it happens. I was not in a good mental space when this whole thing happened. I am growing as a person and learning to control my emotions. Also to control what I just blurt out when I am upset. Thanks for everyone's input. It's not healthy for me to keep dwelling on this. I am moving on now, whether my husband wants to move on with me or keep his old ways. I will cross that bridge when I get there. And I have a plan for if things do go sideways. Thank you all. And that is the end of that story.